Welcome to today's World News Update for May 18, 2023. Here are the most important stories from around the globe. Colombian children found alive in jungle weeks after plane crash. No EU cash for anti-LGBT zones in Poland. Russian T-72 will split US-made Abrams like nuts. Nepali Sherpa sets record with 27th climb. Archaeologists digging along a train route in Mexico have found an extremely rare statue of a Maya deity. Iranians are putting their livers, corneas, and testicles up for sale. Global warming set to break key 1.5 C limit for first time. 6 states, including one EU member, refuse to sign agreement on Russian war crimes register. Oxford University wipes the Sackler name from its buildings. Stay informed and stay safe, and join us tomorrow for more world news updates. Colombian children found alive in jungle weeks after plane crash. The recent news from Colombia states that 4 children from an indigenous community were found alive more than 2 weeks after the plane they were traveling in crashed in dense jungle. President Gustavo Petro announced the successful rescue operation, carried out by members of the military, firefighters, and Civil Aviation Authority officials in Caqueta province. The Cessna 206 plane was flying from Araraquara in Amazonas province to San Jose del Guaviare in Guaviare province when it experienced engine failure on May 1. The pilot and 2 other adults on board unfortunately lost their lives in the crash, while the 4 children, aged 13, 9, 4, and an 11-month-old baby, managed to survive the impact. According to preliminary information from the Civil Aviation Authority, it is believed that the children escaped from the wreckage and ventured into the rainforest in search of help. During the rescue efforts, search teams discovered discarded fruit that the children had eaten to sustain themselves and found shelters made with jungle vegetation. Both the Colombian Army and Air Force contributed to the rescue operation by deploying airplanes and helicopters. The successful rescue of the 4 children brings joy to the country after the extensive search and rescue mission. No EU cash for anti-LGBT zones in Poland. The European Commission has warned that anti-LGBTQ+ zones in Poland will lose their EU funding if they continue to enforce discriminatory policies. Over 100 municipalities declared themselves LGBT-free zones in 2019, but the Commission considers these zones a violation of EU law on discrimination. Some regions have already backed down due to the funding threat. The Commission has introduced an anti-discrimination clause and will assess Poland's compliance within 2 months when funding is requested. Activists have created an atlas of hate map to highlight the extent of these zones. The rise in homophobia is attributed to the rhetoric of the Law and Justice Party leader. The European Parliament has declared itself an LGBT+ freedom zone. Russian T-72 will split US-made Abrams like nuts. Ramzan Kadyrov, the leader of the Russian Chechen Republic, has claimed that the upgraded Russian T-72 main battle tanks are superior to the US M1 Abrams. Kadyrov compared the Abrams to a children's pedal car and praised the improved T-72 as a symbol of real power. He stated that the T-72 surpasses foreign tanks in terms of combat power, control, protection, and ease of use. Kadyrov made these remarks alongside a video of him riding in the turret of the T-72. He further stated that with such a tank, they would enter Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, and carry out denazification, while easily defeating the Abrams. In response to Kadyrov's statements, the Pentagon confirmed on Monday that Ukrainian soldiers would be receiving training on 31 M1 Abrams tanks in Germany. The training program aims to prepare Ukrainian tank crews for effectively operating the M1 tank and defending Ukraine. The tanks were delivered to Grafenwohr, Germany, and Ukrainian crews are expected to arrive and begin training in the coming weeks. Nepali Sherpa sets record with 27th climb. Nepali climber Kami Rita Sherpa has set a new world record by scaling Mount Everest for the 27th time, reclaiming his own record. The 53-year-old Sherpa has been working as a guide for over 2 decades and has climbed Everest almost every year since 1994, except for a few years due to climbing halts. British mountain guide Kenton Kool also extended his own record for the most summits by a non-Nepali, reaching the peak for the 17th time. While these achievements are celebrated, there have been concerns about the dangers of overcrowding and inexperienced climbers on Everest. A Moldovan climber became the fifth fatality on the mountain this year, bringing attention to the risks associated with climbing Everest. Archaeologists digging along a train route in Mexico have found an extremely rare statue of a Maya deity. Archaeologists excavating construction sites along the new Maya train route in Mexico have discovered a rare statue of the Mayan god Cahuil. The statue, found on top of an urn, is a three-dimensional representation of the deity, known for his association with power, abundance, and prosperity. This finding is significant as there are few sculptural representations of Cahuil. The discovery was made in Section 7 of the Maya Train, a railroad project that aims to connect various cities in the Yucatan Peninsula. Previous rescue missions along the train route have yielded other artifacts such as vessels, pottery fragments, bones, and ancient structures related to the Mesoamerican Mayan civilization. The artifacts will be cleaned, classified, and analyzed, with plans for an international research symposium and the construction of a new museum in Merida to showcase the discoveries. Iranians are putting their livers, corneas, and testicles up for sale. Iranians facing dire economic circumstances are reportedly resorting to selling their organs on the messaging app Telegram. Insider reviewed multiple messages on Telegram that indicate impoverished individuals in Iran advertising the sale of organs such as livers, corneas, and even testicles. Many sellers cite overwhelming debt and the risk of bankruptcy as reasons for their desperate decisions. While kidney sales are legal in Iran, the sale of other organs is prohibited. However, the messages reviewed suggest the existence of a thriving online black market for organs. Though the extent of successful sales or transplants is uncertain, there are indications that individuals may be seeking organ transplants outside of Iran, potentially engaging in illegal organ trafficking. The economic hardships in Iran, including high inflation rates, corruption, and the impact of COVID-19 and international sanctions, have pushed some Iranians to extreme measures to survive, including selling their organs to feed themselves and their families. Global warming set to break key 1.5°C limit for first time. Scientists are predicting that the world is likely to surpass the key temperature limit of 1.5 degrees Celsius of global warming, as outlined in the Paris Agreement, within the next few years. The chances of exceeding this threshold have increased to 66%, primarily due to human-generated emissions and the potential occurrence of an El Niño weather pattern. While breaching the limit temporarily is concerning, it highlights the acceleration of global warming. Sustained breaches of the 1.5-degree threshold for a decade or two would lead to more severe consequences such as prolonged heat waves, intensified storms, and wildfires. However, scientists emphasize that there is still time to mitigate global warming by significantly reducing emissions. The predicted rise in temperatures underscores the urgent need for climate action to prevent further environmental degradation and its detrimental impacts. 6 states, including one EU member, refused to sign agreement on Russian war crimes register. According to European Pravda, as of the given date, 6 Council of Europe member states have refused to sign an agreement on registering Russian war crimes, which was adopted at the Council of Europe summit in Reykjavik. The agreement aims to establish a register of damage caused to Ukraine by Russian aggression and pave the way for compensation. While 40 Council of Europe member states, the United States, Japan, and the European Union have signed or committed to signing the document, the following countries have not yet signed: Azerbaijan, Armenia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Hungary, Serbia, and Turkey. Serbia, in particular, has expressed its opposition to what it considers Russophobic decisions and has disregarded the summit. The article characterizes the behavior of the non-signatory countries as predictable, with Hungary's government leaning towards Russia and Turkey seeking to avoid offending Russia. Despite the refusals, Ukraine's Ministry of Justice sees the number of signatories as a fantastic success, surpassing their initial expectations. Oxford University wipes the Sackler name from its buildings. Oxford University has announced that it will remove the Sackler name from its buildings following a review of its relationship with the family. The Sackler family expressed regret for their role in the U.S. opioid crisis, prompting Oxford to take action. The university will remove the Sackler name from prominent landmarks such as the Ashmolean Museum of Art and Archaeology and the Bodleian Library. It will also remove the family name from a professorship. The decision reportedly has the full support of the Sackler family, who have agreed to keep the name on donor boards for historical recording purposes. Other institutions, including the Louvre Museum and the Metropolitan Museum of Art, have previously removed the Sackler name due to their role in promoting the highly addictive painkiller OxyContin. The Sackler family and Purdue Pharma, their pharmaceutical company, reached a $6 billion settlement with several U.S. states and victims of the opioid crisis, but they did not admit any illegal behavior or wrongdoing as part of the settlement.